Here's the other thing to keep in mind. There's also shrinkflation. So you're also getting less Oreos, less potato chips. Everything's smaller. Let's go see how much it costs right now, today in 2023. Here we go. Here's the final finale. $195, so it's 2.5 times more.
Today, we're going to compare grocery prices and inflation from 2020, the end of Donald Trump's first presidential term, through the Joe Biden term until the beginning of this year, 2025, to see what happened to grocery prices just over that 4 to 4.5 year time period and what it means for us as consumers. And thank you to the person that sent me the email requesting this video. Yeah, welcome back into the channel, everybody. And this was a great video idea request from somebody in my email, so thank you for that. We're gonna take a look at how much Americans, us, was spending on groceries in 2020 COVID when Joe Biden took over from Donald Trump's first term. So where the prices were when Donald Trump left office through those 4.5 years, give or take, all the way up until 2025, to see where they are at now when Donald Trump took over this year, to take a look at just how bad grocery inflation has hit all of us Americans in the last 4 years. So without further ado, let's jump into the videos. Let's take a look at exactly how much the prices were item for item, year over year. Let's do it.
I compared grocery prices from 2020 and today. Inflation hit harder than you think. Let's go item by item. By the way, hit subscribe right now so you never miss my money-saving hacks. Milk, 2020, $3.30 a gallon. Today, $4.20. Bread in 2020, $1.40 a loaf back then, just 5 years ago. Today, $2. Eggs in 2020, $1.50 a dozen. Remember that? Today, $3.60. Ground beef in 2020, $4.50 a pound. Today, $6.30. And chicken breast in 2020, $2.99 a pound. Today, $4.20. So what can you do? Go store brand. Those prices haven't jumped nearly as much. And download cashback apps like Ibotta. That's my favorite. It's a free app that gives you cash back every time you buy groceries. You just show your receipt. You can also use cashback credit cards. My choices are the Blue Cash Preferred Card from Amex. It gives you 6% back on groceries. Wow. Or the Capital One Saver Card gives you 3% back on groceries and money back bonus on that one if you eat out as well. It won't erase inflation, but it helps.
Yeah, I use Capital One Spark Card because we get 3% on groceries, so that's really helpful. If you go spend $100, you actually get it for $3 cheaper. You get $97. As long as you pay it off, you're all set. I don't recommend the credit card route unless you know exactly what you're doing. But you can see those prices in some of those cases are 50%. And we're going to see in the rest of this video exactly what the percentages are. And we're going to see somebody go into the grocery store and show you item by item by item. Now, this was uploaded just about a month ago. So this video is very, very recent. And that's showing the prices now. Around 50 to 60% of increase. And it gets much, much worse on a lot of other items. You're about to see that in just a couple of clips.
This one compared to grocery purchases from 2020 to today, and it's actually insane how much inflation we're seeing in just 3 years. A pound of sliced turkey in 2020 was $3.14. Today, it's $6.72. That's a 114% increase. A pound of ground beef in 2020 was $3.46. Today, it's $5.47.
So this was filmed at the end of 2023, beginning of 2024, so a little over a year and a half or so ago, but you can pretty much guess, and we will see in these other videos what those prices have done just in that following year, but this just gives you a good idea because it was 3.5, 4 years later.
Which is a 58% increase. Walmart branded waffles used to be $2.93, and now they're $4.14. Hellmann's mayonnaise used to be $3.77. It's now being sold for $5.48. I think it's a meme that Americans put mayonnaise on everything. I like it on sandwiches, but anyway, 16 ounces of raw honey used to be $6.88. Any guesses on what it's being sold for right now? Well, she checked on the Walmart app, and today it's being sold for $10.97. 3 pounds of Walmart bacon used to be $11.98, and now they're charging $16.48. It's like everything is consistently up 40, 60, even 100%. This gluten-free stir fry cost her $2.73 in 2020, and now it's $4.18 in 2023. These Walmart brand cereal bars were $5.58, and today they're selling for $7.44. And just looking at this woman's purchases, she's not buying brand name, organic, grass-fed groceries or anything like that. These are Walmart brand prices, and even with all that, her grocery bill is still up over 50% in just 3 years.
Yeah, that's about the going rate. 50% to 75% is what I've seen across the board. If you used to spend $200 at the grocery store to fill your stuff up for a week or two, you're now spending $300. And I notice that when I go to the grocery store. I used to go in like on our mid trips, like not the full grocery store experience, but like going to grab the staples that we need really quick that I could get out of the store before for $50, $60, $70. And now when I go in and I buy that stuff where I'm not doing a full grocery trip, just grabbing some stuff that we need, I easily always spend over $100, an extra 30, 40 bucks on what used to be 60 or 70. So 50%, 60% in some cases. It's depressing to see that, because you know you do that once a month and then you go for a full grocery run and spend an extra 100, you're spending an extra 150 or 200 bucks, and you multiply that times 12 months, you can see how people are spending 1,500, $2,000 in some cases when they got families, 3,000 extra dollars a year on just groceries, just eating. And where does that $3,000 come from? Because most people's paycheck hasn't gone up $3,000, right? All right, I'm going to throw this up. It came from Grizzly Loans, and this is the U.S. average grocery prices from January 2020 until January 2024. So 4 years later, this is what the average is for the lowest price of these items. You can go down at one loaf of bread used to be $1.98, now it's $2.50, so it's gone up 52 cents. That is like 25%. A dozen of eggs, $1.46 to $2.52. You're talking about almost doubling that price, not quite. Milk from $3.25 to $3.95. Chicken breasts per pound, $3.05 to $4.08. $3.88 to $5.03 on the ground beef. You can see your potatoes have gone from $3 to $4. Rice has gone up. Pasta, apples, OJ, cheese, and butter. Of course, eggs was one of the big ones. We had that huge egg shortage as they called it. I just call it greed. And it's just all gone up, and it doesn't seem like a lot. Oh, okay, I'm paying an extra $1 for this, $1 for this. But when you get into the grocery store and you're buying 100 items or 150 items, that's where our extra 100 to 150 bucks comes from, because everything costs an extra 75 cents, an extra 80 cents, an extra $1. And it really adds up really, really quickly. Now, some people love to bring politics in this. Who's to blame? Who's at fault? I personally think it's a lot of greed from a lot of these companies. If you noticed what they said in that previous video, a lot of the store brand stuff hasn't increased as much as the name brand stuff. If you're buying Walmart chicken, great value, versus buying Purdue chicken, the Purdue has gone up significantly more, and you know, that type of thing. But that trend has been used and politicized, whether it was Trump's fault or Biden's fault. You know, Biden in office the last 4 years, Trump just taking over this year. This guy actually shows it on a graph that was posted by the Democratic Party themselves. They actually posted this, not Trump supporters, not conservatives. This was actually posted and then later deleted by the Democratic Party. So this is just factual evidence that they posted themselves. Check it out. You'll understand what I'm talking about and how this gets so politicized.
Not only did the official account of the Democrat Party post this picture unironically, but then thousands of liberal content creators reposted it without actually looking at the information. Now, they have since deleted it because somebody at the Democrat Party actually looked at the fucking graph. But what they said here was U.S. grocery prices reached record highs in 2025. And then they showed you this graph of grocery prices. But do you notice something weird about this graph? And the dates down here, it may be a little small, so let me make it bigger for you. See, it runs from October of 2019 to October of 2024. And just for an easier breakdown for you, here you go, we've color-coded it for you. This is when Trump was in office. And then Biden took office right here. So all of this rising in grocery prices, all of these insane increases, yeah, this was all under Biden. What the official account of the Democrat Party posted simply shows that Biden did a really fucking bad job. Like, look, I don't know who runs the social media team for this account, but whoever they are, they need to be fired. Better yet, no. Leave them in place. Fuck. I want them to keep this up.
Yeah, so essentially what he's saying, if you look at this graph, the very first year that it shows from October of 2019 till about November, December of 2020, that's when Biden was elected, the prices stayed just about the same. There was a couple little spikes here and there, but they stayed pretty consistent. And then right around the beginning of 2021, that January 21, and then sometime like near spring or summer, you start seeing that uptick. Well, that's when Biden took over, was the end of January 2021. So his term, you know, February, March, April, that's where we start seeing this gradual spike. And then we see a huge spike after COVID, of course, 2020 through 2021, all the way up until 2022, when COVID kind of disappeared, you know, right around sometime in 22, 23, those prices kept going up, going up, going up till they hit these crazy highs in November of 24. That is, of course, when Trump was elected. Right there at the end of the graph, it shows October 24. So we can even go a little further to November, December when Trump was elected, but had not taken office, remember, until January of 25 this year. And these prices have kind of leveled out and stayed the same between, if you look at like February of 25, which is when Trump took office on the 21st of January, so call it February, till the next, you know, March, April, May, June till summer, they're pretty stabilized. But if you look at the years before that, not so much. And remember, the Democratic National Party on Twitter, X, posted this themselves and then later deleted it. So do what you want with that information. All right, let's get back to these comparisons because I love seeing people go into the grocery store and actually show you what they bought. This guy goes above and beyond into 7 different stores: Walmart, Whole Foods, Kroger. He goes into all of them and shows you the differences between each one of the stores. This may give you a good idea where you want to shop next time you go get groceries.
Went to 7 different grocery stores to figure out which store has the cheapest prices. I recorded the price for 5 grocery staples. They are milk, eggs, chicken, bananas, and bread. I was very surprised what store ended up winning. I first stopped at Whole Foods.
Before we go any further on this video, guess in the comment section below before you finish watching this, which store out of all of these, Walmart, Whole Foods, Kroger, which store do you think is going to be the cheapest item by item? Put it in the comment section and come back, finish watching this clip. See if you were right. Let me know if you were right.
Milk, $4.99. Eggs were $4.49. Chicken, $5.99 a pound. Bananas, 55 cents a pound. And bread, $4.29 for the least expensive loaf. Keep in mind, I'm looking for the cheapest item in that category. So for most of the stores, it will be the value brand. Our grand total for Whole Foods was $20.31. As expected, it was quite expensive. Our next stop is Kroger. Milk, $2.89. Eggs, also $2.89. Chicken is $4.99 per pound. Bananas are 55 cents per pound. Bread, $2.69. Now, that brings our total to $14.01 for Kroger. And now we're at Trader Joe's. Milk, $3.99. Eggs, $4.49. Chicken, $4.99 a pound. Bananas, 23 cents each. I actually took this one home to measure it, and it turns out that they were about 54 cents a pound. Bread is $1.99. This brings our grand total to $16 even for Trader Joe's. Moving on to the famously cheap Aldi. Milk, $2.65. Eggs, $2.72. Chicken, $3.49 for a pound. Bananas, 49 cents a pound. Bread, $1.39. That brings our total to Aldi to an impressive $10.74.
Wow. Aldi is half the price of Whole Foods. So if you're shopping at Whole Foods, you are definitely paying for Whole Foods. No two ways about it.
It's Costco time. Since Costco's a wholesale club, I'm going to let them cheat a little bit and give you the price as if it was just the same quantity as the other stores. Kicking it off with milk, $2.65. Eggs, $2.70 for a dozen. Chicken is listed at $2.99 per pound, but the cheapest package I could find was over $25. Bananas would be 49 cents a pound. Bread is $2.50 per loaf, bringing Costco's total to $11.33. Here we are to Walmart.
Now, Costco and clubs like that are great because when you're buying in bulk and bigger amounts, you're saving money per piece, per unit, right? It doesn't make sense for me because it's just myself and Caitlin in the household, and we don't eat that much food. And even though we do cook at home a lot, a lot of it would go bad. We don't need all that up front. It's just not good for us for food. For things like toilet paper, paper towels, things that won't go bad, it makes a lot of sense. But otherwise, it doesn't really make sense for us, especially when you got to pay for the membership and then we would throw away stuff. It just all evens out for us to go somewhere like an Aldi or a Walmart or wherever, even Publix, which is on the higher end.
Neighborhood Market, milk, $2.62. Eggs, $2.72. Chicken, $2.57 a pound. Bananas, 49 cents a pound. And bread, $1 for an entire loaf. The total for Walmart is $9.40.
I don't think any of us are pleasantly or really surprised that Walmart's at the bottom of that list for price-wise. Walmart just beats everybody on pricing. They literally do.
Our last stop is Target. Milk, $2.69. Eggs, $2.79. Chicken, they were out of stock, but I found online it was $3.79 a pound. Bananas, about 59 cents per pound. Bread, $1.50. This brings our grand total for Target to be $11.35. So where should you shop? That would be Walmart. They were actually the cheapest. I was very surprised by this because I thought Costco, given the wholesale nature...
Look at those prices. Walmart and Aldi pretty close. Aldi a little more. Costco and Target basically the same price. They're slightly more midline, which you expect from a Costco, you expect from a Target. Kroger being on the higher end is a little surprising. Trader Joe's high end and Whole Foods the most expensive. Neither one of those two are a surprise to me at all.
Would actually be the least expensive. If Costco didn't win, then I would have expected Aldi to win. However, they were still more expensive than the Walmart. Give me a follow if you want to see more content like this.
Yeah, pretty good video. Love the breakdown that he did there. No surprises to me that Walmart's the cheapest and Aldi and Target are down at the bottom. I think Costco should be in bulk a little cheaper, but it is what it is. They still have a name and you still got to pay for the monthly subscription or yearly, whatever you pay for. So you got to add a little bit more into your groceries for that. So that'll bump them up, but no surprises that Trader Joe and of course Whole Foods are at the top of that mark. And honestly, Whole Foods being double the price, no surprise at all for me on that one either.
Back in November of 2020, I spent $9.37 for this food at Aldi. I was curious to see how much it would cost today, so I returned to Aldi and purchased all of the same items. I paid $13.26, which is $3.89 more than I did less than 3 years ago. That's about a 41% price increase.
Yep. 40% price increase. Normally what we see, and that's Aldi, which again was at the cheaper of those ends. At Walmart, Aldi, if you do it at other stores, it's as high as 50 and 60%, and it also depends on what items you're buying, but a lot of items are at least 50% or more higher. That inflation rate in just the matter of 3 to 4 years from 2020 to 2024 is crazy how much more we pay for groceries than what we used to pay.
I wanted to see how much inflation is actually affecting our day-to-day lives. You see all the numbers, the studies, but it's so hard to know what to believe. So I pulled up some of my old grocery pickup receipts so we can compare to current prices and see how much groceries have actually gone up in the last 4 years. And it's pretty surprising. I personally have never used a coupon at a grocery store, but after seeing this, I might start. So I have a Walmart receipt from March 2020. This was when Trump was in office, and this is obviously right around the time of the pandemic. And then I have one from early 2023 when Kamala was in office, and we're comparing to today's prices that I'm seeing on Walmart's website. So this is our basket of goods. You can see we got eggs, chicken, oatmeal, potatoes, cheese, all the basic stuff. To start off, the items that saw the biggest jump in prices from 2020 to 2023 were eggs, obviously. So from $3.23 in March 2020 to $10.70 in April 2023. And so that's
And so that was because of the egg shortage. They've come back down. He's talking about these 18 large packs. They're not $10.70 anymore. I think they're around like $8, $9, but they're still ridiculously overpriced.
231% price increase, and today the price is $9.58, so it's actually come down by 10% since last year. A bag of boneless, skinless chicken breast, so the Great Value brand. We're not buying anything crazy here, okay? Great Value frozen chicken, a 3-pound bag, went from $5.94 to $9.74, a 63% price increase. Since then, it's also come down 10%, so it's $8.76 today. Quaker Oats saw a 54% price increase from 2020 to 2023, and then it's the exact same price today. Ground beef, so this is 2.25 pounds. It was $8.98 in 2020, $13.68 last year in April. And then, so that was a 52% increase. And today it's $16.97. So a 24% increase from last year. I'll put the rest of the items on the screen so you can see them. So the total for the entire basket of goods in March 2020 was $115. And then in April 2023, it was $149.55. So that's a 29.96% price increase. And then today it's $151.61. So up 1.38% since last year. This is one of the most important issues for voters this year, if not the most important issue, according to a lot of these polls. So the question is, does any of this actually change after the election?
So this was posted just before the election, obviously, last year. And when you look at that and you see, he just showed a 39.9%. And then when you add the 1.38, he's around 41%, which is what that girl in the last clip showed, 41%. So you can see the overall on a lot of these products are at least 40 to 50%. It's a big increase, guys. When you're going out spending $200 at a grocery store and all of a sudden it's a 40% increase even, that's $80 extra, up to 50%, $100 extra. That's why we're getting crushed on groceries. And just doing that once a month can be $1,200. If you do it twice a month, $2,400 a year extra just on your groceries. So there you go. Now, if you're not new to this channel, I like to add clips at the end that are more fun or more just because, and this one is shopping in 2001, 25 years ago almost, to now the prices. And also we're gonna go way back to my birth year, 1985 grocery prices to 2025. 40 years. Yes, I am 40 years old. Check this out because you're not going to believe the price differences. This one is going to blow your mind. In 2001, during 9/11, I was in my junior year of high school, just to give you an idea of how long ago that was. Good grief. Coming up on my 20 whatever. Let's just go because I don't want to talk about it.
In 2001, this all would cost in Southern California $81. Let's go see how much it costs right now, today in 2023. So I got 3 bags of Lay's, 3 gallons of Horizon whole milk, 2 12-packs of sodas, 2 packs of Oreos, Cocoa Pebbles, 3 pints of orange juice Tropicana, 3 packs of bacon, Wonder Bread, 3 of these, 4 cartons of eggs, and 2 DiGiorno's. Here's the other thing to keep in mind. There's also shrinkflation, so you're also getting less Oreos, less potato chips, everything's smaller. Let's go see how much it costs right now, today in 2023. Here we go.
Guess, before he finishes this purchase, guess in the comments section, how much has it increased from 2001 to 2000? He's doing this in the end of 2023, so that's a 22-year difference. $81 originally. What do you think he's going to spend right now? Put it in the comments section. I'll tell you, I guessed, and I was wrong.
Here's the final finale. $195, so it's 2.5 times more. Why are these all...
Yeah. Almost $200 for something that cost $81 in 2001. That's a little mind-blowing, and gotta love a little fun at the end of the video, but geez Louise, we spend a lot on groceries. All right, let's go ahead and close the video out with comparing 1985. Whew. Can't go into a grocery store and buy stuff and compare it because nobody was recording stuff in 1985, but they pulled out some old advertisements that showed the prices, and this one's gonna make you feel a little old. Let's check it out.
It's from Winn-Dixie. April of 1985.
And if you're not familiar with Winn-Dixie, it's here in Florida. It was here in Florida. It's pretty much been bought out. I don't even know if there's any left, but it's a local Florida chain of grocery stores, or it was at least.
Sugar, 88 cents. 4-pound bag of sugar, $4.46. A 32 ounce of Blue Plate mayo, 88 cents. 30 ounce of Blue Plate, $3.98. 32 ounce of ketchup, 88 cents. 32 ounce bottle of ketchup, $4.76. 12 pack of Budweiser, $5.89. A 12 pack of 12 ounce Budweiser, slimmer bottles, compared to cans, is $12.98. Gosh, a 5-pound roll of ground beef, 89 cents a pound. A roll of ground beef, 1 pound, $7.84 a pound. Sliced bacon, a 16-ounce pack's $1.19. Ooh. A pound of bacon now is $5.48.
Jimmy Dean.
28 ounces of peanut butter is $2.19. 28 ounces of peanut butter, $3.97.
That's surprising. Peanut butter hasn't gone up all that much in price compared to the other stuff going up 5 and 10x. Peanut butter's only gone up like 2x.
A pound box of saltines, 69 cents. A pound of saltines, $3.68. Apples, 59 cents a pound. Red Delicious apples, $1.82 a pound.
Yeah, there you go. From 58 cents to $1.82, you're talking about 3 times, right? 50, well, 3.5 times, give or take. 3.25 times. 5x, 10x, a little bit of fun. 1985, you could have filled your grocery cart for like 50, 60 bucks, 70 bucks, and probably had a really good grocery haul. $100 in 1985 probably bought a month's worth of groceries. Now it's $400, $500, $600 at least, and for a family of 4, $800, $1,000. You guys know the story. As always, thank you for watching. Thanks for the great video suggestion from who emailed it to me and wanted to remain anonymous. Thank you for that. Feel free to suggest videos in the comments section, or you can email me, rockstarflipper@gmail.com, and I do check them and respond to all my own emails and messages and comments, and I will be happy to take a look at your suggestions, and maybe it can appear here on the channel. You can remain anonymous, or you can ask me for a shout out. If I use your video, I will shout you out. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Go back and check out all the great content on the channel, including all of my short form content, and on my TikTok and Instagram and Facebook page. I'll link them down below if you want to follow me over there. I appreciate that as well. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful weekend if I don't hear from you. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next time.